welcome to Go Open. That's right. That's how clever I feel. In a program dedicated entirely to open source technology. What is it? Well, it's like a big mystery which we'll explain as we go. But it's going to rock your world, we believe. And in the course, we're going to meet some very clever people from all over the world, some inspirational South Africans. And don't forget our competition coming up later, where if you really pay attention, you can win things, and if you don't, you won't, because you're stupid. You write things down. We'll ask you questions. You answer them for us. You can win an LG monitor flat screen, which is like a lizard, but it's flat, and it licks you, and you can see crystal clear, which is very good. You can win a DVD drive, which is not when you're driving and then you can DVD. It's actually a thing in your computer that can play the little CDs with good pictures on. We're giving away some Soviet jeans vouchers worth 1,000 rand. Per voucher each as well, and Hewlett Packard, in their wisdom, have given us digital cameras and printers, so you can finally go to the office party with enormous pride and catch the secretary doing things that she shouldn't, and then print the pictures and put them in a magazine and make money.
Open source software exists as a result of the combined efforts of millions of computer programmers, users, and software vendors from around the world. They share their intellectual property freely, and they believe that software should cost nothing and should enrich the lives of users. Open source software is the alternative and biggest challenger to closed source or proprietary software. It generally costs the user nothing. It can be distributed freely to anyone. Download it, use it, modify it, and give it away. It's a whole new world. Open source is the future of computing.
My plasma. Right, let's kick off with something fascinating and mysterious. It's called blogging. Yeah, no, it's not dark and smelly. It's fresh and new. It's fantastic. And it's on the internet, and it's got journalists in a furore.
Most people who get news are used to getting it through newspapers or radio broadcasts. Now, behind the scenes, a team of journalists with international syndication links prepare the stories, and those stories go through a process of editing and vetting before they end up on the printed page. But a relatively new phenomenon has introduced an element of anarchy and self-expression into the world of journalism. It's called blogging, and its proponents say it's changing the way we get our news.
It's like journalism for the people, because we can write whatever we want. We've got a voice now. The blogging gives people like myself who don't necessarily want to write long-winded, drawn-out articles about things that I enjoy. It's my opinion, and whoever's free, you can read it if you want to.
This is the headquarters of Missing Link, a multimedia creation company in Johannesburg. They also run Joe Blog, which is a South Africa-orientated blog. The word blog is short for weblog, and it can be about anything, from an online diary to a recipe club to a political campaign. A blog is, to the world of online publishing, what open source is to software.
You can feel what we're feeling by the way we write. Like sometimes it'll be really, really light-hearted about a story if it's funny, or if it's really serious, I mean, then we'll put the bare facts and say, if someone killed somebody else, to say, I hope these guys rot in hell. The cool thing about blogs is that people can respond to that as well in the comments, whereas with newspapers, you can't give any feedback.
One of the things with an online publication is you can also create a sense of community and a sense of interactivity. So you can allow your readers to comment on stories. You can allow your readers to participate in stories.
Matthew Buckland, online editor for the Mail and Guardian Online, has been watching the blogging phenomenon grow in recent years.
Where does one draw the line between journalism and blogging?
A blog doesn't pass through an editor like a piece of journalism. Our blogs are revolutionizing online publishing. They are not necessarily journalism.
But there have been instances where bloggers have crossed the line into journalism and in fact excelled at it. Salam Pax, aka the Baghdad blogger, provided an unprecedented, live and detailed account of life inside the Iraqi war. The Guardian described it as the most gripping account of the conflict and eventually gave him a fortnightly column in the newspaper.
There is a certain amount of responsibility that has to be taken into it as well, though, because one of the reasons people have blogs is because they enjoy people coming and reading their thoughts, and everyone gets together. If you bugger that up by posting absolute garbage, lying about stuff, really just creating your own facts, and what's going to happen is people are going to see straight through that, because it's a very transparent form of communication. They'll see straight through it, and there's no reason for them to visit anymore.
Just remember, in a publishing environment, the aim is to have information that is false and not credible. That'll never see the light of day. That's the aim. Whereas kind of with blogging, that kind of happens after the fact. And for me, that's not good enough.
one of the biggest things about blogging is the ability and the need to link to articles and things like that. Generally, you know, we get a lot of our links from your legit media, your News 24s and your Google News and things like that, and you know, in the paper and whatever. And we always find articles on what we're writing to link to, so people can go and fact check themselves.
It may be little more than opinion, but then there's nothing stopping anyone from writing the most trivial trash, and it seems some go out of their way to be boring.
There is actually one called the dullest blog in the world. The guy writes, I went into my room today, it was dark, so I put on the light switch. That's it, that's his post for the day, and the guy gets like 400 comments per post.
But with so many news sites and blogs out there, who has the time to sift through the garbage? It's a case of a small piece of software, and you can be your own editor.
The way we get our news is changing. Using a technology called RSS, you only need to get the news you want. It stands for really simple syndication, and you can customize your own online news and blogs. Morning newspaper? Hell no. I got it all this morning.
An RSS feed can be a standalone program or a plugin for your browser. It automatically updates news sites and blogs that you subscribe to without you having to log into them. If something of interest catches your eye, you can quickly read the article.
What's your next blog going to be about?
Are you kidding? This?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been, while you guys have been shooting us, we've been shooting you, and we're gonna pop on the internet about 5 minutes after you walk out the door.
Yeah.
We'll comment about our thoughts and feelings and how you guys were so nice and...
Well, isn't the internet so easy to use? And what a wonderful research tool for children who are working on launching a shuttle at small break. Unless their school can't connect to the internet, that's not so. And maybe even with a phone line they can't connect. So who do they call? Well, luckily, they can call the internet delivery man. Check it out.
Andre Rabagliati is a mailman with a difference. He delivers the internet to underprivileged schools using the lowest of low tech.
I had the idea a long time ago, maybe about 10 years ago, when I was in India. I was looking at the expense of digital access. In places like South Africa that have expensive internet access with a telephone and per minute charges and things like that, it becomes almost out of reach for rural areas. And what this does is this replaces the telephone line. This is 256 megabytes. This will easily carry all the email you could possibly read in a week and all the web pages you could possibly watch in a week.
Schools of all types cooperate by sharing resources. Those with internet connections have server computers installed for the non-connected clients.
A well-resourced school like Krutoskir that we're at right now can become a launching platform for other schools that are less well-connected.
All it requires is someone to remove the memory stick, transport it to the host school, and plug it in at that end. The software automatically uploads and downloads all the email and web page requests.
It requires them to put a little bit of effort in to do the work, to carry it back and forth, but it's a high bandwidth, high latency connection.
Hot date. In Johannesburg, Gauteng Linux Users Group meets on Friday, the 3rd of December. And in Cape Town, 2 free half-day workshops, basic website building and GIMP techniques on the 8th of December.
Stay with us, because we're going to talk to Don Marty in a minute. He's going to share some thoughts, controversial thoughts, mad thoughts about Linux journalism. And please pay attention, because when we finish with that, we're going to ask questions about it, and we're going to give you prizes. Now, let's get really heavy. I'm talking about the combined weight of 130 of these. This is the world's longest running Linux magazine, and the man we're about to meet is the editor, and his name is Don Marty, and he's fantastic, and oh, there goes my network cluster.
Linux is an operating system, like Windows or the Mac operating systems. It was designed to work like Unix, but on a PC. Unlike Windows or Mac, Linux is open source, and there is a wide variety of distributions to choose from, most of them free of charge. Linux Journal has been serving the